Hey there YouTube, how you guys doing today? So we're going to be doing a first drive. We're going to be going over some things that can help modernize your late model car here, be it Chevy, Honda, Ford, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all universal stuff that I've picked up for us today, and be going in depth as to why I chose this car as my project car. Not necessarily this specific car, but definitely the model, what it means to me, and what some of the plans are for it for the future. So stay tuned, and we'll be back here shortly. Alright guys, so we just got her all warmed up. We're going to be driving around a little bit. I'll do some talking, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. Let's go. Alright, so where do we want to start? How about, why this car? Well, right now I'm driving a 1994 Chevrolet Corsica. A very, very forgettable car from the from the late 80s to the mid 90s. It is quite bright. There we go. What do you think? Think it look cool or what? Probably or what? Alright guys, so I had to do a little camera readjustment. I was falling down on the last spot, so let's get rolling. Alright, so what are we going to talk about? How about why this car? Well, this car in particular, this model, means a lot to me because it is the first car that I have any memories in. So my dad, when I was growing up, had a Corsica. I don't remember the exact year, but they didn't really change much of anything. They all had the same drivetrain, either a 4-banger or the 3.1 that's in this 3100 V6. You could get it in a manual, or you could get it in an automatic. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find a manual car, at least not a nice one. This was actually an extremely difficult vehicle to find in any sort of shape that was not a complete and total rust bucket. So I spent probably 3-4 months easily, just kind of perusing the websites. I ended up using Automotive as my search engine for cars, mostly because it was nice and consolidated. I don't really use Facebook or anything like that, so instead of having to go to like your Craigslists and your Auto Trader and all that stuff, I ended up just using Automotive because it searches so many different sites for you. And yeah, so I ended up finding this down in Virginia. Hey guys, we're back. So yeah, why did I pick a 1994 Chevrolet Corsica as a project car? So this car is one of the first memories I have, period. So actually, let's pull these up. We're not in the sun. Sun's on our back now. So growing up in the early 90s, I was about 4 years old when this car came out. Yeah, it's the first thing I really remember is being in the back seat right there, going to school, I believe. It was either going to school or it was going to the grocery store or something. So those are the only two places that your parents really take you when you're young, right? But yeah, that's one of the first things I remember. And like growing up, my dad, after he sold it, he put a lot of miles on cars. He churned through them every couple of years. He missed that Corsica because it was a nice, peppy little car. It was nice and light, got good gas mileage, and it was cheap to run. Unfortunately, they're really, really bad at rusting. Really, really bad. So in order to find one that was not rusty is, well, it's not an impossible task because I did it, but it is a difficult task. So I spent a good probably 6 months looking around online and calling up some dealers here and there. You know, I found a couple, you know, throughout the country. They looked like they were okay, you know, decent paint, whatever. But man, when you ask for photos of like underneath the rockers, the core support, all that, they're all really hesitant. You want to know why? Because these things are notorious for rusting, especially in the rockers, the core support. Pretty much anywhere where water can get to, it's gonna rust. So I got really, really lucky when I found this car. So like I said, this is a 1994 Chevrolet Corsica, and I'd say probably, aside from the rust, the most ridiculous thing about this car is that it has the original tires from 1994. The brand new tires that it had when it was new. And actually, I did take this out yesterday. I went to start it, and the battery wouldn't start. The car would start because the battery was too low. So I went and took a look at it. The battery, so we're in 2022 right now, February 2022. The battery was July 2011. An 11-year-old battery. Again, you know, like if I ran this thing every day, you would never really notice that the battery was low. You know, you just think it's an old car. It just takes a couple seconds for it to start up. No, the battery is bad. It was pretty bad. So ran up and got that changed out, and I went and got a car wash, and I was playing with all the buttons and everything, you know, getting accustomed to the car, and I noticed that the brights don't work. So here's our first thing that's wrong with the car. Our brights don't work. And when I was reading up on some forums, apparently the hazard indicator is a good way to tell if it is the bar to indicate for the on the stock for the indicators for, you know, to turn your high beams on. If that doesn't work, the hazards, then it's a sensor, or not a sensor, but a relay, or the switch itself is bad. So I tried them out and it still didn't work, and my ABS light came on. So now we're up to 2 things. Now, I'm not really planning on running this thing at night, and even if I do, I don't really run high beams all that much anyways. But turning the hazards on, you know, again, that's not something they're really ever gonna use. And my ABS light kicked off. So, could I fix those things? Absolutely. Should I fix those things? I mean, the hazards work, the ABS works. So what if the light kicks on and then kicks right back off? Who cares? So, I have a working, driving 94 Corsica. Now, there is 1 or 2 tiny spots of rust. One is under the hood. I'll take you out to see it next time that we're working on the car. But yeah, under the hood. So all I have to do is scrape off a little bit of the paint, get rid of the rust, and then use a little bit of primer. So just some gray primer, since this is a gray car, get some dark gray primer. Done, no more rust. So yeah, like, this car it's pretty darn good. I'm very impressed. I do, however, need to get some new tires for this thing. I'm planning on dailying this for a little while, you know, really get to know it, see what it's like to live with. And yeah, I'm not gonna trust 28-year-old tires on a 100-mile-a-day round trip for me. So I live about 50 miles away from work. I go there 3 days a week. I'm lucky enough to be able to do hybrid. So Monday, Friday, I work from home. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm in the office. But I'm not gonna daily this thing until I get the new tires. And honestly, I'm looking for rims right now. Tires aren't that big of a deal. The rims. Now, I've been looking online. I'm trying to figure out, you know, can I find something in a junkyard? you know, something with a 5x100 with like around a 38 offset or so with 16-inch tire or rim, you know, so that way I can, you know, throw like some like Lumina or Monte Carlo rims on it or something, you know. But what I'm finding is everything out there is just trashed. Everything I've found has got so much road rash on them that they're not even worth the $50 for like individual rims, let alone putting tires on them. So now I'm on the hunt for a 15 or 16-inch. You know, I've been finding some stuff like there's an American Racing 5-spoke. It's black. It looks pretty cool, and I honestly think it would be kind of cool to have that with a. There's a BFG white wall or white letter, kind of a all-terrain but more sporty, kind of older looking tire that fit on there and would fit this car, and I think it would look really good. But it's gonna be like $1,000 to $1,200. I don't necessarily know if I want to put that kind of money into this thing just yet. At least not on wheels and tires, especially if I do what I have planned for this thing. So we'll see. Tires themselves are going to be about $400. Not that bad if I just get direct replacements. We'll see. But to move on, I've got some goodies here, so that way we can kind of modernize the car, make it more livable for day-to-day life, especially when you're going, you know, trying to daily it. So I got a few things. So first thing I have is the phone mount here, so I can record and all that type of stuff. Let's see here. Number 2 thing. This is pretty cool. This is a Bluetooth cassette tape. So I'm used to, like, you know, I grew up in the early 2000s or whatever, driving and all that, and I had cassette players, and I used a aux cord to cassette player. It worked pretty good. But now we have cassette to Bluetooth. Check that out. You know, this little cassette player is like $20. A little expensive, but I want to keep the original radio. It's freaking perfect. I don't want to bastardize this car yet. And I could still keep the original radio in here. You know, I'll be able to take calls, listen to my music or podcasts or audiobooks, whatever. You know, why wouldn't I? There's number 1 thing. Number 2 thing, actually technically that was 2. This will be number 3 thing. So, cigarette lighter adapter for USB. Now there's a bunch of stuff out there. This one is from Automotive. They had some decent reviews on them. And the thing that really interested me is the size of it. Like, it's just a little guy. It actually fits into this hole like perfectly, like, so it's flush. So it's not going to stick up like 5 feet like, you know, other ones that you've seen out there in the market. I know you've seen them. I've seen them. They're everywhere. So the only reason I really wanted that was because it'll look flush and it'll look cool, and, you know, gotta have our nice things every once in a while. You gotta spend a little bit. I mean, it was only $10. It's not exactly a giant expense. Can you go to the gas station and pick one up for $1? Sure, but the quality of those things are, I wouldn't trust it as far as I could throw it, and I could probably throw it a country mile. So I wouldn't trust the thing. Yeah, so. And it's 5 amps each, and it's a 2-port. Bam. We throw that in there. Even lights up. I'll show it to you. So yeah, we got it's all light up in blue. It's a 2-port. Yeah, we got the Arsvale. But yeah, get you back over here. Bam. Got you plugged back in. And then the 4th and final thing, just a nice USB cord. And I got a 10-footer instead of a standard 6, just because I'm gonna mount this thing, you know, kind of wherever. And just kind of be wherever. Oh, it was a 3-pack. We got spares. Got somebody else in the car, bam, lightning port. curious. So it's got 90-degree ends. So it's not gonna be all super tall and get in your way. Oh, nice and tight. Like a toiga. And bam, we are charging. Out of the way, looks good. I like it. All right. Let's go for a drive here in a minute. All right, we're back. Let's go for a quick little drive and just enjoy the car a little bit, you know? Let's enjoy her. So we're parked in a parking lot here. I'm sure there's been lots of people staring at me. I don't care. Let's turn the heat off. It's getting quite warm. Alright. And it's nice and quiet. It's crazy smooth. So I'm used to my Blue Beetle. It's a 2019 F-150 with a 2.7 twin turbo. Great car, or great truck. Alright, so now we're on the move. Don't have the sun in the camera. It's kind of nice. Though now I can't see you all that great. But whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, so, you know, I'm surprised, you know, once again, just for strictly the age of this car. How well it drives, how smooth it still is. So right now we're going, you know, it's pretty flat, but if you're from Michigan, you know that can change in like 5 seconds, 5 feet. And going over, you know, different bumps, going over railroad tracks, she's been smooth, surprisingly smooth. And I know a good portion of that is the fact that these are 14-inch tires on a 175 tire. 175, 85, 14, I believe. So it's got a lot of sidewall, and that helps to absorb a lot of the impact. It's not good for handling. You do not want this much sidewall for handling. But it is doing a really good job at absorbing all of our shitty roads. It's doing a really good job. Doing some rocking, doing some rolling. Oh man, this car is so small. I'm still just so used to my truck, you know, it just rolls over everything, doesn't really shake around like all this. It's just, you know, this thing's suspension is so soft, and with these tires, there's so much give. It's just, it's fun. This would be a car that you could drive fast while still going slow. Anybody that understands that, you're people I want to know. I have very high hopes for this car and what my plans are going to be for this car. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with you in a minute. Alright guys, we're back. So currently we're running out of light, so I'm going to be kind of fast with this. So I was just playing with that cassette player, and it's not going to work. This cord right here is not going to work with our cassette because it goes in a long way like this, not sideways like this. So I'm gonna need to figure something out. Maybe order a different cord, or I'm gonna have to figure something out, you know, like you know, maybe I just have to return this thing. I don't want to, but I'm probably going to have to because it's just not going to work. Yeah, no, it's just not going to work. I have to get like a crazy thin, like we're talking to about like here till that side of my finger. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, be crazy thin, or we're not gonna have Bluetooth. I really want Bluetooth. You know, that's kind of the whole thing, you know, I want modern conveniences, but it doesn't really matter. So long as I can get my tunes going through the radio, that's all I really care about at the end of the day. Just thought this would be really cool, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna head back to the house. I'm going to park her up, and we're gonna call it for right now, I think. Okay, so we covered why this car, covered technology, shucks, and oh, you know what? I just realized something. We didn't discuss at all about what the plan is, so stay tuned, because I'm still figuring some shit out. It's either going to be really, really cool, it's going to be super lame. I'm leaning towards the former, not the latter. Have a great night, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to grow. I appreciate all your help. And don't forget to share. Share the video. If you like this at all, share. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.